And you're live on Joy 99.7 FM. This is Ghana Connect. My name is Evans Mensah. Now, tonight we're celebrating Ghanaian ingenuity in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis. The coronavirus has hit Ghana hard. I won't lie to you. Our economy is faltering on the brink. I'm sure you know this. That is the downside, by the way, but there is a huge upside all around us if you care to pay attention. The Ghanaian industrial and creative spirit has been ignited by the crisis. We've created our own rapid diagnostic test kit awaiting approval. With local fabric, hundreds of us are creating our own face masks. Young men have invented solar-powered automated hand-washing machines. And there have also been even a whole music award ceremony and a full stage play held flawlessly, virtually, to thousands of patrons, created and executed by Ghanaians. Now, President Akufo-Addo recently acknowledged the genius of his own people.
3,600,000 face masks will be produced domestically with an output of 150,000 per day. I'm equally impressed with the invention of a solar-powered hand-washing sink by Judosai from Kumasi and the COVID-19 prevention electronic bucket made by Calvin Owusu Dapa and Richard Watching, both students of Obuasi Senior High and Technical School. Necessity indeed is the mother of invention, as the Ghanaian sense of enterprise and innovation is beginning to be felt.
Yes, it's beginning to be felt, and if you pay attention to the list of objectives for the government in the fight against COVID-19, one of the key pillars there is using the crisis as an opportunity to restart the Ghanaian industrial spirit. It's good to say that and have it on paper, but what are the concrete steps that government is taking to make this a reality? We'll be hearing from the people who are doing it. And in essence, making us proud in the midst of this crisis. We are becoming self-sufficient in some of the key areas. But what help are they getting to make sure that this lasts beyond the crisis? Well, connecting with me via Zoom tonight is a 12-year-old girl who has developed a portable hand-washing device from her knowledge of air pressure systems she's learnt in school. Can you imagine that? Aisha Fofana connects with us on Zoom. Hello, Aisha. Can you hear me, Aisha? Okay, Aisha can hear me, but we can hear her, of course. We'll fix that challenge. With no science or technology background, Richard Kwarting Inning, a full-time shoemaker, invented a solar-powered sensitive hand-washing sink to help in the country's battle against the novel coronavirus. We'll hear his story as well. He also connects on Skype. Now, on Tech Thursday, my colleague Chrissy Deborah told the story of how he's invented a low-cost smart thermometer equipped with an app. Eric Obeng is an engineer and CEO of electronics. Will also connect with us. Yeah, Ghanaians are doing a lot. Well, and this is my personal favorite because it takes a lot to pull it off if you are one of those who appreciate art and the creative industry. Sadiq Adams is a CEO of 3 music awards. Can you imagine ever, before COVID-19, that a whole music awards can be organized and executed with no single person in the audience? Well, that happened in the last week. The 3 music awards was held virtually, and he supervised the first of that in this country. And I bet if you check anywhere else in the world, he'll probably be among a few. And I'm delighted that he could also join us. He joins us on the phone. Hello, Sadiq. Hello, Sadiq. We'll get Sadiq to join us shortly. Tonight also, there's a gentleman who also did his play, a fantastic play, by the way. Thank God for Idiots, it's called. It premiered on the virtual platform for the first time in Ghana's stage drama. Abubakar Latif is a playwright and a CEO of Globe Productions. He will join us with his latest play. Dr. Marcel Entry is a country director of Farm Access. Ghana, the innovators of the COVID Connect app that gives you access to health experts at the University of Ghana Medical Center. Just a whole range of things the Ghanaians are doing. Wherever you are tonight, I want to hear from you. If you're one of those who haven't been heard yet, but you've done something great, I want to hear from you. 0244340437 is the WhatsApp line. Wherever you are tonight, you can get in touch. This is how.
Join us now on Twitter, #Ghana Connect Live, Facebook, Joy 99.7 FM, or send us a WhatsApp on 0244340437, and we will call you back. Join the nation's biggest conversation now and connect to authority.
Best way to reach, as always, 0244340437. Let me bring in Sadiq Adam. Sadiq, thanks for connecting.
Thanks very much, Evans.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, Evans.
Fantastic. I mean, I watched a bit of the music awards. First, tell me, I'm pretty sure had planned for this to happen sometime this year, but you never factored in COVID-19, right?
Yes, we didn't.
Okay, so when COVID-19 hit, the president announced restrictions. What was going through your head the night you heard him say no more gatherings beyond a certain number, all theaters closed? What was going through your head?
I mean, it was one of the worst situations to be in as an event person. Actually, we had taken a stance even before the president, because our fan festival was supposed to come on the 14th, and the day before the 14th, the Thursday before we called up our events. There are 2 cases of COVID was reported in Ghana, so we had to take the decision. But it was really a crazy time to be an event person. I mean, a lot of things. I remember just about a week after the ban was placed on mass gathering, I had to call some of my friends just to check on their mental health, because I know how we've worked so hard for it. And we're just about a week into the main event itself to wrap it all off, and then this came. And so it was really, really disheartening, I mean, to say.
I mean, so that was a clear challenge there that you were anticipating. But clearly, from what you're saying, you didn't give up. At what point did you switch from, oh goodness, this is a tragedy, to, hey guys, we can turn this around somewhat?
I think just a week after the ban was placed, because right after we called off our events on the 13th, and I think the Sunday after that there was a ban, I think. And between that and the week after, but within the week after when the ban was placed, we got talking. So myself, the team, we got talking and said, look, every year we produce this event for a television audience as well as a live TV audience. Is there a way we could do it primarily for a television audience with, elements of what would have gone into the big show regardless? And then, once we answered the question, then we started to look into how possible would it be to be able to do this. Once we were sold on it, we thought that then, we will just have to make a sacrifice on ticket sales. However, we can pull it out to nourish the brand and then end our year in the ways we thought of it. So it was just some few days after.
Okay, then you figured out, okay, so we're going to put this we're going to do this virtually.
Yes.
Of course, you're going to give up tickets. But then, did you have any blueprint? Like, did you have a concept of this has been done somewhere in the world and maybe we can replicate? Or this was just all happening in your head in terms of, okay, we don't have anything to follow. We just have to do this and make our mistakes and just hope that it works.
Exactly. So, because I remember everybody kept on asking us, what form would it take? And we kept on telling people that, just wait till the last day. But truth be told, internally, we just wanted to execute it. Give up our best, and then possibly there are some mistakes here and there. We'll learn from it. I know there are some people in the team that were afraid that we're going to drop the ball. But I was very, very confident because I had mapped out in my mind in terms of how it's going to take the flow of it. Because, I flipped it out and thought about it in the ways that, okay, if every year we do a proper scripting, we produce the events with all those theatricals for a television audience as well as a live audience, what will be the difference here? The live audience, can we replicate it and produce a very compelling content that will keep people sitting for more than 2 hours to watch via their phones or at home? So once we were able to answer that and we convinced the team and convinced all other partners on it, we just moved into it. Then we started to go into what will go into the show itself. What's going to be the introduction? Who's going to do the introductory performance? Which MCs are we going to have to boost it up? Should we add comedians to it? And that saw the introduction of the flavor room that had Clement Suarez and OB and all of that. It was all in our way to create something that would keep people waiting, because we thought of it as something that would primarily broadcast to people via Facebook, even before TV. So the point was, okay, people are going to waste their data to watch. How compelling should it be? You want to be able to have people sitting for more than 2 hours. And then we straight went into a strategy mode, brainstorming mode. We brought everybody on board. We discussed it fully. We threw in all the ideas that we could. We came out with a blueprint document, shared with everybody that was concerned or related to it, and then we started to execute it.
Very, very interesting thought processes here. A lot of try and error, but as we saw it play out virtually, it went really well. I want to bring in another man who tried something similar, same within the creative arts industry. Abubakar Latif. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Ivan.
Great to have you. I want to give people a flavor of what you did with your play, and this has a fascinating title, by the way. Thank God for Idiots.
Abisco,
Madam,
listen to me.
I'm listening.
If you want to stay in this house, you must do as I say, because I am the madam of the house, and my words are final. Do you understand? Do you understand me?
Yes, madam.
Good. Now what did I say?
Hey, if you want to stay in this house, you must do as I say. Because I am the madam of this house, and my words are final. Do you understand? Do you understand? Now what did I say?
Abisco, you are mad.
Oh, madam.
You are on drugs.
Madam, I'm standing here. How can...
Abubakar, so I'm curious. I hear people laughing in the background. Is that a virtual audience laughing, or this was computer generated? What was it?
Okay, so it's a virtual audience.
Oh, as in the people who were watching virtually? Or you created this computer and just click it as and when something that was done funny?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah. I didn't hear what you said.
No, just explain to me that bit was very curious to me. What was this? How did you get that sound effect in?
It was virtual audience. It was virtual audience.
Okay, and so these were the voices of people who were watching in real time. Well, on Facebook or
these are voices of people who were watching in real time.
Oh, okay.
So we were able to capture some of the people who were watching in real time to make the feel look very real for the actors on stage.
So how are people connecting with you? Is it on Facebook or was it how?
People to watch the virtual play. We use 3 different mediums. I think we use YouTube, and then we use Facebook, and then we did some via television on GTV.
Goodness me. And so how did that idea come about? And must you have done this? Because you could have said, let's wait till coronavirus is over. Then we can do a proper one at National Theatre and get tickets and make some more money.
And make some money. Yeah, but the principle and belief for us as a theatre production company is that drama or theatre is one important tool when it comes to communication. So if we really want to send the message of COVID-19 across, when I talk about the message, I'm talking about the preventive measures, the symptoms, the call to action with regards to COVID-19. We felt deeply that and strongly that theater could also do the trick. So why not put up a play that could carry this message across? Because we have huge audience base across the country, over 40,000. And this particular production, because it's virtual, you have people across the world getting the opportunity to watch. So you create a platform, a huge platform, better than even the audience within an auditorium, which may be made up of just 4,000 people. What we do. This audience are millions of people that we want to touch. So for us as an organization, 2 reasons. One, how do we put smiles on the faces of people who are tensed locked down within this COVID era, and how do we help the relevant agencies to push the message across for people to really understand what they are talking about when they talk about preventive measures, when they talk about the symptoms, when they talk about the call to action. So those were our motivation.
I mean, stay with me. I want to bring in 12-year-old Aisha. Hello, Aisha. Hello, Aisha. I can hear you now. If you could speak up a bit for me. How are you doing, Aisha, tonight?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. And I'm told by my producers that you developed a portable hand washing device. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, like, because of the COVID-19, I knew that to do something because not everyone likes to wash their hands. And as you know that there's not yet a cure for COVID-19, so I just wanted to design something that would be simple and easy to use and very portable. For example, if a schoolboy is going to school, he knows that he's going to pass some stuff which can or which has, or maybe he can have the virus on his hand. Well, he can just take the device out of his bag and just wash his hands simply and easily.
So you can actually carry this to school.
Yeah, I can make smaller ones and which you could take it to school, and I can make bigger ones which can be kept at the gate of our homes.
Wow. I mean, so you can carry this hand washing device in your bag and go to school with it?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. How did you come by that idea?
Well, as you know, my teacher has been teaching us about air and everything, and I knew that, like, I wanted to make something simple. So I knew that if air takes space, so as soon as you open it, air enters, creates a pressure, and let the water come out. But as soon as you close it, there's no much air inside, so it doesn't create a pressure, and no water comes out.
So I mean, you're 12-year-old. And I can see you on the screens there on Zoom. So this is a proper 12-year-old, and you're using the science you learn in class. Which class are you in?
JHS1.
Oh, JHS1. Is it a public school? This is a public school, right? Junior high school. Oh, they're private. Okay, I mean, but that is just. So how did you come by putting everything together?
Well, like at first, sometimes I'll just draw something so that when like I see that this thing is going to work, then I actually try it out, like make it smaller. So when I see it works, then before I make a bigger one. Yeah, so I first make my prototype before I design the actual.
Oh, you even know what a prototype is? I have no idea. What is a prototype?
Well, like if you make something at first, you make something and maybe just to try it out. So as soon as it works, then you can share it to others, then use it.
I am so inspired. I mean, a portable hand washing device. You know the problem with hand sanitizers where they say if you're on the road and you can't find a hand sanitizer, can't wash your hands, because the ideal is to wash your hands with running water. And so if you can't find it, then get a hand sanitizer. But you're saying that with your portable hand washing device, you can carry it everywhere you go and wash your hands with soap and running water. That's what yours does.
Yeah.
I mean, I should stay with me. I'm going to come back to you for more on this. Dr. Maso Enchi, can you hear me?
Yes, Evans, I can hear you.
And Doc, you must be fascinated. I know you've done this for a long time. I mean, you came up with the COVID Connect app that gives you access to health experts at the University of Ghana. But even you must be fascinated by the 12-year-old invention of a portable hand washing device.
I am, and I think it's a stamp of credibility on Ghanaian ingenuity, even at an embryonic age. So I think there's hope for Ghana if you see some of these innovations coming up from young people like the one that we are discussing.
I mean, that exactly is the whole point of this conversation. And as you talk about that, you've also found a way to put people in touch with health experts at a time when accurate information, is possibly one of the most essential commodities out there. You found a way to do that safely and responsibly. Tell us about it.
No, so we did this as a team. It's a collaborative effort between us, Farm Access, partners from the Ministry of Health, and also the University of Ghana Medical Center. And the focus of this service is to, just as you said, we are in an era where we call it infodemic. So we have a pandemic of information in addition to the viral pandemic. And sometimes it's difficult to tease out what is trustworthy and what should be discarded. So this gives us the opportunity to share credible and trusted information on COVID-19 with Ghanaians. It also affords us the opportunity to detect suspected cases for testing, and also that people can actually use their symptoms, key them into the application, and a team of dedicated medical doctors and psychologists can reach them and give them the needed support and medical guidance. So in this era where we want to free up healthcare capacity so that doctors and nurses and frontline workers can focus on high-risk patients and give them the maximum and the best quality of care, it's a contribution to augment and support the national community.
And so far, how has it performed in terms of how many people are accessing it and the quality of information that people are getting on this app that you created with your colleagues?
Evans, it's been amazing. So as of this morning,
3,600,000 face masks will be produced domestically with an output of 150,000 per day.
The dedicated and committed doctors at the University of Ghana Medical Center, led by a very specialized team, one Dr. Buama and Dr. Darius Osei and Dr. Amwa and Dr. Edwin, very dedicated team leading the doctors to provide the medical guidance and counseling. I remember for me, one touchy moment was when we called a client somewhere in Greater Accra, had reached us because he felt he had COVID symptoms. And this client was so surprised that a doctor would call them in their own home at no cost to them and give them medical care and guidance. So far it's been very, very fascinating, very, very encouraging, and I think it's a way of augmenting what the government of Ghana is doing to alleviate.
I mean, that is a Ghanaian spirit we are talking about. When a doctor reaches out to a distressed patient and offers an expert help with no cost whatsoever, people just coming together to use technology to connect people and help them. Doc, stay with me. And another man who did wonders. In fact, when it comes to the automated, this one is automated washing machine, is solar powered. He also created that. I think he's the first person I saw that I started thinking, oh goodness, there's something good coming out of this crisis after all. And no wonder, days after, he got a mention in the presidential address.
I'm equally impressed with the invention of a solar-powered hand-washing sink by Judosai from Kumasi and the COVID-19 prevention electronic bucket made by Kelvin Owusu Dapa and Richard Watting, both students of Obuasi Senior High and Technical School.
I have with me Richard. Hello, Richard. Hello, Richard. Richard from Kumasi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. We just had a president there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We just had a president there talk about your invention. I wonder, how has your life changed since that address to the nation, in which your name was mentioned as one of those shining bright lights in the midst of this darkness of COVID-19?
Hello. Can you come again?
I mean, I'm just. You remember when the president mentioned your name? I'm just wondering what has happened to that invention. How has your life changed since we all heard your name and your invention? That was really inspiring to the point where the president thought it should be part of his address. Richard, can you hear me? We'll get Richard back. Very inspiring story of Richard there. We'll get him to join us so we can hear his story. I want to go back to Aisha Fofana. So Aisha, you came up with this invention. I want one to buy. How do I get it?
Well, if you want to buy, like, it's somehow like very simple to make. So if you actually want to buy some, you can just actually get in contact with me. Then I can tell you where to get the materials from, or I'll sell one to you.
Oh, so okay, so you can sell one to me if I want to buy one, a portable one for my kids to take to school in case the president says school they can go back to school. I can reach out to you and you can produce one for me.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! I want to go back to Kumasi. I want to bring in the Eric. Eric also created a low-cost smart thermometer equipped with an app. Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining us, connecting with us also tonight. So this is a thermometer that simply, I guess, we've seen the ones that when you're entering a building, they put on your forehead, takes your temperature before you go in. You have created one that has an app attached to it. Explain this.
Okay, so because of the somewhat airborne nature of the COVID, it's advisable to make contactless measurements, and most of the thermometers that we have, they are kind of single point. So when they measure from one spot, okay. But then the way infrared thermometers work is they try to capture the infrared emission from the object they are focused on. So whenever you are in any space, there will definitely be background noise. I mean, infrared other emissions from other bodies in your environment. Okay, so taking just one single shot of data makes the data not quite accurate. Now, in science, one thing that we do often is to repeat experiments and find averages. So when my system, you're able to take 64 shots at a point, and the system actually goes ahead to pick 10 of these 64 shots within a second. So that gives you a whole lot of data to be able to analyze and come up with the right temperature of the surface that you are measuring, in this case the patient. So in order not to put so much pressure on the electronic device, I decided to create the app so that the electronic device will relay the data that it measures to the app. Then the app can now do, using the phone's processor and all those hardware, to do a quick processing of the information so that you can have the right result on time. Yeah.
So how much did it cost you? You did all this by yourself with your own money and everything?
Yeah. Yes. So actually, the time I started working on it, we were on the lockdown. So I went through my things and I got the components. So these were components that I bought previously for like some months ago. So for the electronic system, I spent not more than 300 cedis on it. But of course, the amount of work that went into designing the back end and also the flatter up for the system, that one I'm yet to cost it. But then for the electronic system, yeah, something around 300 cedis. Yeah. But obviously, right now that the dollar has increased, getting some of those components would come in some variations.
I mean, so another inventor there, a thermometer, smart one that also attached one up, and I'm sure you encountered, and if we as a country going through this crisis, do you want this to remain a one-off thing you've done, or you want to make it into a commercial item that can be useful, especially in this crisis and any other challenges that we know happens within the health sector? What's your plan, and what help would you require?
Okay, so fortunately, most viral infections come with a rise in temperature. And so even after COVID, we will still have a use for this system, because most of the things that usually informs doctors of most diseases is the fever and those rise in temperature. Now, the plan is now to create it for one, medical purpose, two, for commercial areas like the airport. So for the commercial side, like the airport, we can mount it on a three-dimensional robotic arm, so that it will be doing scanning at some particular places, trying to find some temperature abnormalities or anomalies of people who are entering the area. Now, the moment it figures out something, or it measures something above the given threshold, what it's going to do is going to turn on a very low power laser light onto that person, and it will zero in on the person's direction and be following the person. And at the same point, it would be alerting whoever is in charge, the authorities, to take action. Then for the
you mean you're creating this thermometer that has motion sensors?
Yes.
Goodness me.
Yes.
That you a Ghanaian, you have the capacity to do that.
Oh, even more than that.
Wow. Wow. A thermometer that has motion sensors can track you and oh goodness me.
The state of the device as it stands can even detect motion. So it can be used as a temperature sensor and also a motion detector. So it is already inbuilt.
Let me ask you, what sort of help? I mean, since you started this, have you reached out to the authorities for any form of help? And what will you need to scale this up to perfect it so it can be put on the market?
Okay, so I reached out to some doctors. My lecturers in KNUST also directed me to some doctors, and they actually came on board and gave me some data, which helped me a lot. So now what I intend to do is to make this device available for our medical institutions and those kinds. So I'm not actually thinking about personal use, because it will rather serve more importance or something like that with a medical professional. So if I get the help of, upgrading, making it more sensitive. And the thing is, when it comes to medical devices, sensitivity is a thing, and sensitivity is money. You get it? If you want better accuracy, you have to invest in proper ICs, proper sensors, and all those things. So right now, it all boils down to funding. It's a project I would love to do for the nation, just for free. But then I can't obviously do it from my own pocket.
Yeah, I mean, and let me bring in Dr. Entry about a funding question. Doc, talk to your co-inventor there for me about your own experience with the challenges you face in creating this, funding the existing state support for you. What's your own take on that?
So the state has been very supportive in this venture. So this is virtually funding that we obtained in support with the Dutch government, but also complementing what the University of Ghana Medical Center could also provide. So the doctors, who are about 40 in number that are attending to the service, are not being paid by us. They are still members of staff of the University of Ghana Medical Center and are being catered. I think my advice for those of us involved in digital innovations and digital initiatives is to explore funding opportunities that would come in the form of equity. So there are opportunities that you could explore in the form of equity, where one will be prepared to share ownership, because 50% of 1,000 is better than 100% of 10. So I think that principle of equity should be explored. There are also some angel investments that are available for many digital innovations. I think if you talk to the right persons, we might be able to connect such innovations to funding sources. There's always a mismatch between funding sources looking for credible innovations, and sometimes credible innovations not operating on the platform where good funding sources can reach them. So these are the two suggestions that I would give. First is explore equity financing, so that you are not the only owner, but you bring others on board. You're not only bringing in financing, but also more expertise in terms of governance and management and technical support as well. But also explore angel investments that that are available, especially around digital health innovations.
Eric, what do you make of that? Is this something that you want to try out?
Hello. I actually can't hear him. I didn't hear anything that he said.
Well, he says that you need to look beyond, try the angel investors. You have to find partnerships. I mean, the question is whether you are exploring other avenues of raising the funding to make this happen, and maybe reaching out directly to the sector agencies as well for some form of help.
Okay, so fortunately, I think I have had like 4 people reaching out, and they are interested in it, and they've asked me to give them some expenses, whatever would cost to produce these things, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that because I thought of some upgrades that I've been working on. So I'm trying to put these things together. Then I can come up with something like a budget that I can give to them. You get it? Yeah. So.
Okay, so that's the story there. I want to come back to Sadiq Adam. Sadiq, so you put this together, this 3 awards virtually, an award ceremony, I guess, first in Ghana's history. And we're now talking about the challenges that you face. You've spelled it out for me. I wonder how difficult was it for a Ghanaian who wants to be ingenious and not just simply give up in a time of crisis. How difficult was it pulling this through, and what support would you need to make this something that is regular, I guess?
I think that going forward, the financial model of it, I mean, that was a major challenge. I mean, we had to work around it. We had to find dig deeper, put in our own resources, all the partners. I mean, in this case, I mean, from multimedia, A&E Ghana, Fantasy, we had to find a way to put all our investments into this to ensure that this comes on. But obviously, going forward, for it to be sustainable, we would have to be able to find very better commercial models in and around it. If it's going to be a pay-per-view, or it's going to be a tie-in with a telco, where you're getting a bit of off percentage of data that's being used or something. We need to be able to figure it out. If this, particularly if COVID-19 continues for such a long time, for us to be able to do these things and continue to entertain people, I mean, we have to be able to find a commercial model around it so that the efforts and the investment and everything that goes into this won't be in vain.
I mean, Aisha, you 12-year-old came up with this portable hand washing device that I've been celebrating all evening. Tell me, what's the ambition? How big do you want this to be beyond COVID-19? What's your ambition with the device you invented?
Well, I just want to make it so everyone will be able to wash their hands. I want to make a lot so that in case school reopens, I'll make a lot for my friends. I want everyone to support me so I can make a lot for my friends and my family so that everybody can be taking it to school or anywhere they are going. And I also want support from anyone who can support me to help me make more for my community and my fellow neighbors.
Okay, so I like that call directly. Specifically, what support exactly will you require?
Well, like sometimes encouragement, and other times like when I need materials like bottles and the straws. I need the materials to make more of my portable device. So.
Okay, Aisha, great to hear that. Let me try Richard again. Hello, Richard. Can you hear me? Hello, Richard. I mean, Richard still can't hear me, but his work has been acknowledged by the president. I just wanted to gauge where he is now, because it's been quite some time since he came up with that, whether he's moved on to bigger things with that particular invention. Obviously, can't hear me, unfortunately, with that. But let me come to Abubakar Latif. I mean, I know writing plays and performing it's a hard art to master, but also to do in a country like ours. Let more in a COVID-19 era. We've been talking and having a conversation about, the help, the funding. What's your own story?
For us, with regards to support, we're grateful that at least we had some support from some donor partners which actually believed in the fact that theater could do two things. Could put smiles and joy on the faces of people, and then it could help support the government's campaign messages across board. So the Ministry of Information actually helped in terms of broadcasting this information live. The telecast on GTV was via the Ministry of Information and then on their Facebook pages. The Chamber of Telecommunications also came on board. We are saying that as a corporate social responsibility for us, if we have certain partners like the Telco Chamber, like the Ministry of Information, like the GJA, that also came on board, the Ghana Journalists Association, that also came on board to support. We are okay to go to provide lots of quality content in terms of entertaining to help people stay home, be comfortable staying home. So for now, yes, we know no matter whatever you're doing in terms of event, money it's significant, but we cherish these partnerships more than the money. We are ready to put in the little we ripped over the years in terms of ticket sales from our audience and give back to them. Sadna.
And I want to take a few of the messages coming through on our social media pages on this conversation about Ghanaians being ingenious in the time of crisis. The necessity, they say, is a matter of invention, and Ghanaians are inventing Indian numbers. What are people saying, Guinness?
So Charles from Lashibi says, Ghanaian ingenuity, no doubt about that. Killing our very own, you can trust. Where is our security boots factory? And I'm sure you're referring to the one, the shoe factory in Kumasi. Did Madame Valentina's West Blue survive? The pull the Ghanaian down attitude of policymakers. That's the problem. And this is Charles from Lashibi. Augustine from Aikuma says, I believe in the can-do spirit of the Ghanaian, but the challenge is the support the need, which has always been a problem. And another one here from Dowenya, that's Nikhil, says, Evans, this indicates that Ghanaians are smart as most scientists across the world. The problem has been that we've been relaxed and we do not support ourselves. That is our problem. Dede from the US says, if they're listening, I hope all these inventions or designs are copyrighted and patented, or what have you. Yeah. And then one more here from Lashibi says, okay, I've read this one already, Evans.
So that point you last made about whether it's been patented is a very good point. I want to quickly put that to Eric. Eric, you heard the message there about hoping that you patented it and you've registered it properly. Can you tell me what have you done about that, patenting this intellectual property of yours? Hello, Eric. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm asking you about, have you patented this intellectual property of yours, this great invention, the smart thermometer with the app, the ones you tend to upgrade with the motion sensors and everything? Is this something you patented already?
No, so it's actually something I'm working on at the moment in line with the upgrade. So I'm trying to get it to the level where, if I don't do a good job, then somebody can go ahead, add some other features, and then it will become a new thing. So I'm trying to get things in shape, and I'm gradually working on the patent too. So it's something I'm working on at the moment. Okay,
Aisha Fofana, so you're 12-year-old now. What do you want to be in the future with this? The way you've started, the sky is even not the limit. But I want to hear for your story. What do you want to be in the future?
Well, I want to be an engineer in future, so I want more support from engineering companies. I want to be a great engineer to develop cars and airplanes and so much more. I want to be someone that the world will appreciate me. I want to be someone big, and because like some people don't. I know I can do something, so I really want to become an engineer. That's my future career, and I'm really proud of myself.
Oh, I'm really proud of you too, Aisha. Aisha is a 12-year-old who has developed this portable hand-washing device from her knowledge of air pressure systems she learned in junior high school. And she's in junior high school, JHS1, and I'd come up with that. There are more messages on this. Anas?
Yes, let's take some few more. This one from Patrick says, very good interventions. Let's encourage them to continue. And Nyama also says, I'm extremely excited. These are brilliant inventions and we must encourage them, especially Aisha. They are so inspiring, and it's my earnest prayer that these inventions go a long way to impact the world. A very big congratulations to them, and God bless them as well. This one says, Evans, I think we should think of setting up a science and innovation center to promote these innovations. And that's Joseph from Belgium. And we leave you with a performance in a song from the play Thank God for Idiots. And you had Abubakar Latif, the playwright and the CEO of Globe Productions, who put this together, performed it all virtually with the help of a few of agencies in Ghana. COVID-19 didn't break their spirit. They found a way to put actors, actresses performing in a play to thousands of audiences, all virtually. And this is a song they put together on COVID-19.
When we hear assassin cough, when the world